Most of my young life, there was more farm action than there was ranching action. And so it's just something that I was drawn towards. I don't know if it was the equipment or the crops or probably just a combination of it all. And so I just kind of leaned more towards farming. And once you understand one thing, you know how to add to that operation. And so I just kind of took the direction of the farm. And then it also was a natural fit where my mother was more interested in cattle. It kind of left her where she could manage the cattle operation. And it left an opening for me to take over and grow and manage our farming operation. We are a mostly grain production farm in the Northeast Texas Panhandle. We raise wheat, milo, corn, triticale, cotton, seed sorghum, silage. We've dealt with the NRCS my whole life, so it was a natural fit for us to continue to do programs and to find the fits in our operation where they can partner with us and help us to improve our practices and implement better conservation practices.
For all the years, we made a lot of projects with them. From the beginning, we replaced center pivot, renozzle, soil probe, cover crop, rotation in both sides, in irrigation land and also in dry land. In the area of the range, we cover water facility, fences, grazing, how handle the prescribed grazing, or the rotation, all that kind of things we're working with them. How this practice treated a resource concern. For example, if it's a water facility in range, the resource concern normally we treat it is just provide water to the beef cattle for the animals. In that way they have water to drink. And the crop, for example, in the soil probe, that's another resource that we treat in the water also. In that way we can save water. So the practice treated different resource concern, and normally after we treat that with the practice, we have a nice result.
Converting these CRP acres to being able to use for cattle with pipelines, water wells, solar wells, and tanks, those things to develop old cropland into productive pasture land has probably been the biggest thing that we've used. Extending the rest period on pastures has greatly increased the diversity. You know, we're seeing grasses. When I first moved here 40-something years ago, we really were more of a short grass prairie, and we have land east of here that now has the 4 big prairie grasses on it, and it did not whenever we started, and the NRCS has been instrumental in that.
Predominantly on our dryland acres, which we're about 75% dryland, we're in a very long-term 2-crop, 3-year rotation. We have always tried to implement more no-till practices, especially on our dryland, to conserve the moisture, to conserve the soil, to help shield it from wind and water erosion. And then the rotation helps because we've got a cool season crop with our wheat and a warm season crop with our milo. And so we're capturing different seasons. We're able to break weed cycles and break disease cycles by having a cool season through the winter and a summer season. The other rotation, so on our irrigated, the other 15%, we're obviously higher concentration cropping with the irrigation capacity. We're able to overcome the dry weather. And so our rotations are a little more diverse. We've got more opportunities to do different crops. So that's where we can work in some of the silage crops or a cotton crop or a seed crop or something like that, where we can continually crop that, where we don't have to fallow to bank moisture. Working with NRCS has been a benefit to our operation, and majority of the time they make it as easy as possible. They are there to help the producer, to learn about the programs, to help work through the application process.
They really are good about guiding you towards successful projects and things that have a successful outcome.
Part of our goal is try to protect our natural resources, because at the end, if we don't protect all the natural resources, we're going to have problems.